Okay, it looks like it's loading. We're live.
We're live? Are we? Oh,
Yes,
I
we
see
are
it. It says
live. Hello,
Julie Craft
everyone.
Chick is live.
You and I were just like shooting the shit. We're like, oh, wait, we're supposed to go live. That's the whole point of this. Good thing we weren't just like talking to each other for half an hour, right?
It's so weird watching the live because it's like a 5 second delay. So I just feel like we're talking to ourselves in the
We're in the
future.
future. Yeah, we're all about in the future.
In the future, Yen is in the house. What's up, girl?
Oh, our last
Hello.
month member of the month.
She has to pass
Passing the
on the crown.
torch. Yeah. I still need to make like one of those like walls, like employee of the month, like everyone's photo. That's like on my to-do list. So after this one, I gotta wait till the next reveal, then we'll fill
Yes.
in this.
Yes, we'll just get a virtual one this time. We've got Caitlin in the house.
Exactly.
We've got Shaq in the house.
Yay,
Got
Shaq.
Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hello. If you are joining, just say hi in the comments because we can read real good.
And
That's the only way we know.
we'll try to keep up with all the comments, but it is quite difficult to multitask and do it, so we'll do our best.
Yes, yes. Let's do some updates. It's just been
Yeah.
an exciting couple of weeks with episodes. I feel like this last one on love bombing was the bomb. Sorry to just sound like an old person. Let's raise the roof because it was the bomb.
Is that a statement that's ever used anymore? I feel like that went out in like what, 2000?
Hey, all right, I'm gonna bring it back.
Right, we're
For
bringing
all the
back Dink. We're bringing back Dink. We're bringing back the
bring back
bomb. It's da bomb, not the bomb.
da raise
Da.
da roof and it's da bomb because if we're bringing back 90s fashion, we should be bring back 90s sayings, don't you
Yeah,
think?
obviously.
Vance is in the
Obviously.
house. Hey,
Hey,
Vance.
Vance.
How you
Yeah, and let's
doing?
talk about storytelling this week. What's your story? I loved this episode. As you've heard on the episode, I'm a long-term fan of Corey Rosen. I've taken many of his classes, and you had the pleasure of seeing me do a storytelling performance, which was very
It's really good.
nerve-wracking. But I loved how we like related this to dating because I feel like everyone's always like, "What's your story? Why are you still single?
Yes.
Why are
Yes.
you divorced? Like, why have you never been in a relationship?" And you're always like, how do I even start? And I think one of the things that he said that stood out with me is it's a story when there's a journey, like when there's a
Mm-hmm.
change of behavior. And I think from now on, every story I tell of like, especially when it's like an explanation of like why I'm doing a certain thing, I'm gonna look at like what I've learned and where I'm going.
I love that. Ryan's here too. And Ryan's actually had quite a bit of stories. I feel like Ryan's really good at storytelling. And
Hmm.
I did this one thing after the end of a relationship. It was a short-lived relationship, but I felt compelled to write a story about it.
Mm.
So it was a story of Yue and this guy named Ted. And it was like a love story, how we met, the meet cute, and then like how the relationship progressed and then how it just faded out. And it was kind of a neat memento to have. I didn't need the pictures, I didn't need the text messages. I just needed this one cute story just to remember him by, and that was good enough.
Are you gonna self-publish it on Amazon?
It's
I'm
already
waiting.
number one bestseller on love stories written by Yue.
UA's the only one in the category. She's killing it.
I am a best-selling author. If anybody wants to buy it, I will pay you to
Wait,
buy
so is
it.
Ted his real name? Or was that a pseudonym?
Yeah, that's his real name. I probably
Okay.
should, yeah, rename it like Ed or something.
Yeah, just
Shit,
make it
yeah.
really not discreet. Ted to Ed, obviously. I'm assuming this
uh,
was before my time that I knew you. I didn't know you dating a Ted.
no, yeah, this is definitely before your time. And this the whole thing lasted maybe 3 months, but it had such an impact on my life and it helped me get over this previous relationship I was in. I learned a
Mm.
lot from this relationship or
Oh.
whatever you call it, situationship.
I've heard you talk about this multiple times. I just didn't know his name was Ted.
Oh, now you know.
I
Ted
feel like
Mosby.
you've done How I Met Your Mother, best show
Oh my,
ever. Although it is
yeah.
so I don't know. I rewatched it during COVID, and it's just not with the times at all. So much of the stuff is cringy now. I used to love it back in the day.
You can't watch these shows now with the mindset that we currently have because
No.
everything is offensive. Like we've
Mhm.
talked about Sex in the City being extremely outdated.
Mhm.
My friend pointed out Kill Bill, which
Oh,
is you think on surface is about female empowerment. Uma Thurman actually talks about her being sexually harassed on set. The entire movie was built around Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish, and it's just like
what?
really, yes, it's really interesting to like restructure this because he obviously sold the movie as female
Mhm.
empowerment, but if you look at the characters, they're highly
Mm.
fetishized. Anyway,
Interesting.
that's a
That
whole
makes
other
me think
episode.
that we should have a foot fetish episode. I don't know. We have a good like I don't know if I'd describe this as a fetish, but it's a sexual act that we have a really good episode coming up. I don't think I've laughed this hard in a long time. Like Yue and I were like recording this, and we were like our guest that we had is a comedian, and he was hilarious. Just like his
We needed it.
mannerisms, like everything. I can't wait to release this one into the world for all of you.
Should we give people a clue?
Yeah, let's give people a clue.
It involves a dildo of some sort.
Let's hear the guesses in the comments because it might give us for the ones it's not. It might give us future ideas.
Oh, Julie, Aaron says, "Yay, I am finally able to join a live event." Well, I'm
Yay!
glad we popped your cherry on
Yay,
live events.
Erin!
This is where we have the most fun because we are unleashed and
Yep.
unfiltered.
So, who wants to guess what involves a dildo? Speaking of unleashed and unfiltered.
Yeah, it's a fetish involving a dildo, and it's not about masturbation, which, by the way, I learned masturbation helps with your helps to strengthen your pelvic floor to
Hmm.
prevent incontinence when you get older or after birth. So, hey,
Wow. It's
something
really
you,
healthy for you.
it's really good for you.
Clearly, you should be masturbating every day. Master dating, masturbating, it all goes together.
And it's not coincidence that May is a National Mental Health Awareness Month and National Masturbation Month and AAPI Heritage Appreciation Month.
I didn't
It's
know
like,
that. I knew that it was AAP Heritage and Mental Health. I did not know it was National Masturbation Month.
oh yeah, three of my favorite things all rolled up into
All
one. May is
together. Hey, it's
gotta
good
be
for your
May.
mental health. For sure, it's good for your mental health.
Oh, Brian Clark is here too. Hey,
Hey,
Brian.
Brian.
Oh, someone's asking. Wait, hold on.
Do we have a
Someone,
guess?
so yes, we did have a guess, but the guess is pegging. So we'll just leave that. We're not going to tell you if it's right or wrong, but we're just going to leave that for now. Wait, there's a question directed towards Julie. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. See
Oh,
thread.
good.
Ryan says, Julie, can we talk about who the guy was you posted photos with the other night? You know what, Ryan? Before we got on this live stream, I was like, should I ask Julie to like do an announcement or reveal? But I'm like, no, I'm gonna have her do it on her own time. But hey, you know what? If
Hey,
you're
it's there.
asking in the
I
comments,
kind of felt like that was the question I was gonna get. That's why I said, "Oh boy, here it comes." Yeah, I mean, new boyfriend, which has been wonderful. So I think
boyfriend.
it's like a reminder to me. This whole thing has been a reminder to me when like someone likes you and they want to be with you and they're ready for a relationship, they show up. Like there's been no games, no miscommunications. Like it's been wonderful so far. And yeah, that's all I'll say. He's private, so I don't want to go too deep, but that's where I'll.
There is something that happens to some of us when we find someone who's just like you just get along with so easily that you start thinking like, what's wrong? Is this supposed to be like this? Are we, am I going to find out things along the way? It's just so easy to go there, but we
Mhm.
forget that when things work, they just
I
work.
know. People always say that though. It's like one of the signs of finding your life partner is that it's just easy. And like it doesn't have to be this difficult. And I know like, I've definitely been in difficult situations for sure. And I think there's something very refreshing of how easy it is. Again, it's new. We'll see where it goes, but yeah, it's been all good so far. So yeah, Yui was just asking me. She's like, "Oh, now you're in like a full-blown relationship all of a sudden."
They're going on a couple's trip this weekend. a big deal. You're getting a lot of congratulations in the comments. Some shocking comments as well. Brian's like, what? And Ryan's like, ah. And Aaron's like, high five. Caitlin's like, yay, Julie, congratulations. Shaq is like, what? Congrats. Oh,
You know,
Brian
I
Clark.
oh
Brian
yeah,
Clark said, oh my God, your fortune came true.
you know, it's we're not sure yet, but Nikki Novo did predict a lot of things that have happened for me in the sense that I did go through a very difficult dating period at the beginning of this year, and she warned me and she said, "Do not get discouraged." And that has helped kind of stick it through. So, yeah, we'll see.
If you haven't listened to that episode, it's an episode with Nikki Novo. She's a medium, also a clarity consultant, I guess you could call her. But she did readings for both Julie and I. She predicted that Julie would find someone very special this year. And that's what Brian is referring to. Yen says, congrats. So many messages. So happy for you. Marlo says, congrats. Vance is like, that's awesome. Love hearing this.
Oh my
Camille's like,
God.
sounds like a healthy relationship. I like that assessment.
I mean, some of it too is where I'm at, right? Like, I think we all talk about like this, like, how much of the self work that goes into it. And probably a good segue to, we have an amazing community of the member of the month. I'm trying to get this off of me, as you can tell.
It's a great segue into not talking about this anymore.
No, but I think we have, I mean, this is why we're all here is to reveal our community member of the month. And our community member of the month this month has been nominated by so many people. I want to
Hmm.
read one of the nominations because, I mean, there were a lot that came through, but there was one specifically. Oh, wait, why is my Facebook being weird? Hopefully, I can pull this up. You got to entertain while I'm
While
pulling it
you're
up.
pulling it up, Nicole says, awesome news.
Oh my God.
Brian says, it's the juiciest
Oh my
juice.
God. Too funny. Too
It's like,
funny.
oh, Julie's blushing. It's so cute. It is. She is a little shy about talking about it, but whenever she does talk about him, she just keeps using the word wonderful. So can't go
That is
wrong with that
true.
word.
That is
He
true.
sounds. I have not yet met him. Okay, and it's
Because it
gonna
hasn't been
happen.
that long. That's why.
In the week that they've been together,
No,
I
no,
have
it's been
not met
longer
this
than that.
guy.
It's been longer than that, but it hasn't been that long. It's been like a month. Okay. So this is the nomination that we got. I want to nominate blank because I'm not going to reveal who it is yet for
Mhm.
member of the month. She's always engaged in posts and attends happy hours regularly. She gives feedback and shares her perspective in a kind and enthusiastic way. I also think she's a great example of how members can be so active within the group without having to be single or dating, but in a committed long term relationship. Any guess? Let's put it out there.
Yeah, I know we guessed pegging for our
Yeah.
fetish. Now we get to guess community member of
Hey,
the
this is
month.
interactive. This is an interactive live stream.
Any guesses? Any names being thrown
Anyone,
out there?
anyone.
Ryan's like, it's Dawn.
Should we just reveal it then?
Yeah, I mean,
It is Dawn!
yay!
Yay!
Vance guessed Dawn. Caitlin guessed Dawn. Shaq guessed Dawn. Janice is like, yes, Dawn. Actually, it's because of Janice Dawn is with us,
Yes.
right? Thank
Right,
you,
we gotta
Janice.
tell this story.
Yeah, absolutely. So way back, I think it was like October, November, there was a very weird Facebook glitch for a day, and anyone that tried to post a post in a Facebook group, it instead went on their personal timeline. So Janice and I are Facebook friends, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden I hear, I read this post about this after dark with Shieldy, and we're going to be talking about sex, and I'm like, so I comment on this post because I don't know what it is, and I said, like, what's going on, what is this? And I Shieldy, obviously also Facebook friends with Janice, made a comment, and then Janice messaged me, and she said, oh my god, this is a group I'm in that wasn't supposed to go on my timeline. So she sent me the link to the group, which was amazing, and then I found the podcast from there, and then obviously the sounding board. So that's how I got
Nice.
to meet everybody.
I'm so glad a glitch brought us together.
That could have been the worst glitch ever.
Oh
Can you
my God.
imagine if you're a part of some really obscure Facebook group?
Or, I mean, we have people that are bearing their soul on Facebook. What if that went to your personal feed? Now, no one's going to post ever again in Love in the Time of Corona.
I know. I know. Well, at least it wasn't a group called like I need to leave my partner.
Yeah,
You know? Like, everyone's
it'd be
like, I'm about
worse.
to leave my partner. How do I do it? Damn it.
Well, I think one of the things that people always mention, Dawn, is that like you are, engaged and um like in a very healthy, committed, happy relationship. And people love that you just, give advice because you want to. Like you're not even trying to necessarily get anything in return, which I think has been really great to see the diversity too of relationship statuses in this group. Like how do you think the group has like helped you even being in a relationship?
Yeah, so I think for me, my relationship's unique because while we are engaged, we don't live together. So there's
Mhm.
still a lot of what I feel like the dating part of relationships that still apply to us because we're still trying to make time for each other. We're still trying to communicate, even though we're not in each other's day-to-day lives. So I think I get a lot out of the group, the same of what everybody else does, which is, communication skills, how to talk to our partner,
Mhm.
even master dating. I spend a lot of time on my own when my kids are at their dad's and when my partner is at his home. And so always looking for ideas of the things that I can do on my own. And this group is so much more than just dating and relationships. It's so much about self development and becoming the best person that we can be. And so the tips that I pick up on from the group apply not only to my intimate relationship, but also so many of my friendships and even communication in my professional relationships. So it's just great all around.
You just bring such an air of calmness to the group. I feel like
Mhm.
whenever you're present in our virtual rooms, Dawn just brings like just like breathe, like no problem is that big. The world is not falling apart, and Dawn can dole out the advice without people freaking out. And it's like so nice to have your energy around. And I think what else I really respect about you, and it goes in line with this recent episode I was telling Julie about. I listened to How I Built This, and I listened to the episode with Justin, the founder of Hinge. And he said, what I learned through this entire relationship journey is that you don't find the one, you create the one. And I think,
Mhm.
Dawn, you have been such an example of that. You're like, I did find someone amazing, but we are creating and making each other dateable every day, regardless of your relationship status, because you got to work on this all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for anybody that hasn't spent time with me in a happy hour, I was married for 14 years with my ex partner for 17 years. We have two kids together, and when we met and fell in love, we were in love. We were going to get married. We intended to be together for a long time. And while I do think there was some underpinning core areas that we weren't really compatible. Our relationship really ended because we didn't do the work together to maintain that relationship and create that relationship. And the same with my current partner. He was married for almost 20 years and also very much in love when he met his ex-wife. And so for us, we recognized it was very much about meeting somebody, but it was also about really creating the kind of relationship that we wanted and continuing to create those opportunities to learn about each other and to discover new things about each other. And that's what we're certainly hoping is going to give us some longevity.
Awesome. Awesome. It's so good to hear. I love also like when you talk about the data gaps that you're like, like I think people put so much weight on profiles and while like it's definitely important and we actually are going to be doing a sounding board event all about, presenting your best self and doing that, I think there's also a lot of hidden gems on dating apps too. And while we can put our best foot forward, sometimes we're really quick to judge and we could really miss someone amazing that maybe doesn't have all the training that you all have in this group.
Absolutely, because I think I love the sounding board event that's coming up. But reality is, we can only control ourselves. So we can
Yes.
do all the work and create the best profile. But the amount of people that are going to find this group, although I hope it's everybody, but in
Right.
reality, and learn these things is minimal. So if we're relying on looking for a partner that's had the benefit of what we've all learned about dating apps and best
Mhm.
pictures, we're really focusing on a very, very small subset of the population. And I was
Mhm.
lucky because I was dating post divorce at a time when I wasn't super invested in the outcome of finding a long term partner. I had not been single for years and years at that point in time. It was fairly new out of my divorce, and so I was really dating for fun.
Mm.
So and I wasn't really clear on who would be right for me or what kind of partner I wanted. So because of that, I really said hi to all kinds of guys, and if they had one photo, that was fine. If they, didn't look like they had spent hours crafting the best profile, but they lived near me and I thought their picture was okay, what's a couple of texts? And I really do feel that meeting my partner, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was heavily scrutinizing his. He had
Mhm.
signed up, and we met on Match. He had been on a different app and not loving it. Signed up, took a selfie of him sitting at his computer as he uploaded his profile, filled in, some basic information about what he likes. And it wasn't his profile that made me think that he was going to be a compatible, great partner for me, but it was enough to say hello. And then all the
Mhm.
stuff that came afterwards is really what created my interest in him and wanting to get to know him more.
I love that. I feel like you said something so profound once that basically, like, we judge all these people by their dating profiles, yet that has nothing to do with being in a relationship with them. Like, how well someone markets themselves literally has nothing to do with their ability to be in a
Absolutely.
relationship.
Absolutely. It reminds me of being in the bar and the guys with the smoothest lines or the
Hmm.
guys
Yeah.
that are more of the player, right? Somebody's ability to know how to attract a woman or how to get a woman interested actually sometimes is the opposite of the type of qualities in a man that we actually want in a relationship, which is that idea of being focused on one single partner and not just on who's looking at them or how they get a woman to be interested. And I know myself, I met my ex-husband in 1999, and then in 2006 sorry, 2016 was on dating apps for the first time. I had no idea
Mm.
how to maneuver in a dating app, and I suspect a lot of the men who I was matching with in their early 40s, who may have also been in long-term relationships, they had no clue either.
Yes.
And so it's the blind leading the blind sometimes on dating apps, especially for those of us that didn't um, haven't really grown up using them throughout our adulthood. And so I really tried to remove how much focus I put on the actual app and really just I work with 99% women. I was never going to meet a partner at work.
Hmm.
I'm kind of beyond the stage of my life where I'm hanging out in a lot of bars. So for
Hmm.
me, dating apps were simply a way to be able to say hi to men I would never meet in real life. It
Yep.
was not meant to screen if they were a life partner. It was just to say hello. And then once we started talking, that's when we can figure out if we even want to meet.
Love
Just say
that.
hello. Just say hello.
Exactly.
That's it. It's so low investment and commitment. You're just trying to explore where this
Hmm.
conversation could go. So Dawn, for anybody is who's watching this right now and is thinking, since the vaccine has been around and I think a lot of people are getting back out into IRL dating, I already feel that people are getting burnt out. They're feeling that
Hmm.
dating fatigue again. And then they're thinking the apps are not giving me the matches I want. I feel like I'm back to pre-COVID days of those frustrations. What would you say to anybody who may be in that boat right now?
I think that part of my success in dating was because I was excited. I was post
Mhm.
relationship, but in a good place, and I was excited about the prospect. And so for me, meeting new matches, talking to new people, going out on first dates was fun. And I think when it doesn't feel that way anymore, and it starts to feel like a
Mhm.
job or it starts to feel like work, it's an
Yeah.
opportunity to just put a pause and figure out what's going on there. Maybe it means taking a break off the apps. Maybe it means just trying a new app because your frustration, if you've been on Tinder, for example, and it's frustrating you, maybe a non swipe based app. It's just different enough to almost, it may not be any different, but it might be enough of a placebo effect to feel different. If it's feeling like work, take a pause. What's one small thing I can change? Is it my profile pictures? Is it the app I'm using? Is it a paid app versus a free app? Just to change it up to try and make it new and fun again.
Mhm.
Because I think for me, having it feel new and fun, or at least not like work, helps to have the positive attitude that you need to invest in this process because it does take a lot of time and energy.
Absolutely. Attitude is everything, 100%.
Everything. Yen says, I'm working on my limiting beliefs around dating
Mhm.
profiles. So she's saying she's
Mhm.
agreeing with you. Van says, same. Cameron says, love the unique view that brought success. So a good profile seems to be more about overcoming the limiting beliefs of others rather than actually meeting people. That's interesting. It's a
Cameron,
very,
always so wise.
he's so wise. And I've never seen so many hashtags that say hashtag relationship goals about you, Dawn. How do you
Love
feel about
it.
that? Being like the queen of hashtag
Well,
relationship goals.
you know what? I think as someone who is divorced, who's had a failed marriage, that's probably the biggest compliment that I could
Mm.
ever receive. Because I know as somebody who did have a failed, what felt like a failed marriage, the idea that I would have a future happy, healthy relationship at one point in my life seemed uh, something very much a fantasy and not the reality. So to think that I've met somebody and that not only that we feel like we have an amazing relationship, but that people look at us from the outside in and see that about us feels really pretty amazing.
And just to be clear, marriage, you had an expired marriage.
Yes.
We're gonna use that word now.
Yep, it
You didn't
builds
fail
you to
anything.
where you are now, right? Well, thank you so much for joining us, Don, and congrats for being the May member of the month.
Thank you.
And it is a good segue, though, because we have actually a lot coming up all about dating apps this week. We
Hmm.
have a really exciting episode that's going to be with a founder of a dating app. And they're like, I think a lot of it actually is very similar to what Don said. It's like dating apps are here to be a tool. They're not meant to, like, be this like devil that you're like out to get, right? Like it's meant to help you. And I think actually hearing from the dating app founder that we're talking to, um, it really was apparent like how much they cared and how it wasn't like viewed as like a business to keep you on because their best way to maintain business is to get referrals of happy customers. So I think that's a great episode that's going to be next week. And then we also have our sounding board event this Thursday. So we also have a happy hour tomorrow. So if you're not in the sounding board yet, this might be the time to join because you can join for the happy hour and then the following week. But we are going to have a really special event where we're going to have a dating coach and a photographer come,
Hmm.
and we're going to like go through Marie, who's in this group. Actually, she's going to be the dating coach that talks us through this, and we'll be posting more about the event. But it's going to be a great tag teamed event because you get the dating coach perspective, you get a photographer perspective, and we'll also I'm definitely going to ask the photographer how to take better pictures in general.
We all
So,
could use that
even
advice.
if you're in a relationship, there's going to be more that you can learn from this because I personally suck at that really bad and need all the help I can get.
And just to clarify, the event is next Thursday. So this
Next
Thursday, we
Thursday,
have our
yes.
happy hour. Next Thursday, we will have this event followed by the happy hour. And if you're not in the sounding board yet, you can just go to dateablepodcast.com/sounding board to find all the information. And if you are in the sounding board and you're in the friends tier, you can always upgrade to friends with
Mhm.
benefits tier to get access to all the events.
Yes.
That's it.
Very
That's it.
exciting. So
Fun
look for
stuff.
more posts coming this week all about the event and get your spot. We keep them limited so they can be super interactive. So if you're interested, come on down. They're always a good time.
I feel like there are conversations that are happening in the chat. So keep those conversations going. Our live stream, we always go over by a few minutes, but we
Yeah.
got to end this live stream. We'll be back every month with these community live streams. And if you want to see more of us, you can just join Sounding Board or go on YouTube or listen to our weekly show. That's
Hopefully everyone's already doing that.
minimally.
But yes.
Minimally just do that. It gives feedback.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. Thanks
Should
so
we
much
do a
for
big
joining.
stay dateable together? Everyone in
Yes,
their
we
houses all
shall.
together.
Yes. Unmute yourselves and shout at the top of your lungs on the count of
Let
three.
your
We
neighbors
all-
hear you.
Yeah. Let them let them complain about you. That's when you know you've won. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Stay dateable.
dateable. Relationship goals.
Awesome.